of serious and a big deal when you haven't met them. And
Yeah.
like there's a lot of expectations and stuff. And I think I mean I wasn't I was I'm not super used to being nervous, and
Oh.
I was very nervous.
Yeah.
I could have used some anxiety meds. I mean,
Yeah.
I was freaking out. All of a sudden, it's like I've never even. It's like it's worse than like first kiss type thing.
Oh. Yeah. It was interesting because I only heard your side of it, and Janelle and I aren't as close, so I don't obviously would not feel comfortable like asking her what happened. But yeah, I would definitely be curious if I were you. Like, well, of course, I'd be curious with any of my exes to hear like what their final rundown of like what how they perceive me.
Yeah, it is.
It's interesting because I think we all have ideas of like how we're perceived, but we don't really get the opportunity to like get a real honest opinion of like from someone of how we're perceived, I guess if that makes sense. I don't know.
I think we do, but then we don't. Then we don't. I give you honest opinions of how I perceive you
Oh, well,
and
thank you.
everybody,
I
and
appreciate
then and then you say thank you for it, like you
it. Because
shouldn't.
you say nice things.
But it's not meant to. I don't say nice things because they're nice. I say nice things, just like how I was about to get a little, a little fighty with Ace
Oh, uh-huh.
because I do. I, I just, especially on here, I
Mm-hmm.
agree with you. I so agree with you. We don't get to see people's perception, and I want to be loved,
Mm-hmm.
and especially when people that I appreciate.
Yeah.
And so,
So
I
how should
crave
someone
feedback.
respond when you say
I do it by I mean in here in particular, I do it by I ask I tell people how I feel about them, and oftentimes they it reciprocate. In real life, it's
mm-hmm.
through questioning and understanding patterns, and really I think getting to the understanding that a lot of what people perceive of you is a reflection of them anyway. It's more projecting. Like a lot of people, what people perceive, uh, a lot of how people perceive other people is uh, tells more about them than the other person.
Hmm.
Like whenever I've done well, especially in like business or something, people that I was getting along with beforehand all of a sudden hated me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people
Okay.
because
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
do what?
I see what you're saying now. Like I see where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't trust people's. It's really difficult. It seems as a woman because based on like especially with Kayla, um,
Mhm.
she acted different towards people who were pretty, girls who were pretty.
Oh,
Girls
yeah,
acted different towards her because she was pretty.
yeah.
It's there's a lot that goes into it, and I mean that's why it's part of the reason why people who I feel like understand me well I'm drawn to because like that's super relieving to me, especially when I'm fond of them. And I don't think that you can have that without like you got to like somebody for them to get a chance to know you because it takes a long time.
To get to know someone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It, it, it
I hate it when I feel like I know someone and then all of a sudden it's like It's
Well, people do act out of
I don't like
character.
to be inaccurate. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's specific things that this changes. Like, you got to break this down a little bit almost. Like, um, and it's going to be different for you than me, for sure, how you would tell how people actually perceive you. Especially because if you weren't so nice, I think a lot of people would create a lot of reasons to not like you.
But that's the thing, like I think that's my I make sure to make not to make people think I'm nice because I feel like I am nice. But that's the main thing where it's like I hear that, like, oh, she's so nice, she's so nice. I very consciously want people to think I'm nice. You know what I'm saying?
Because that is your,
But I care that people think I'm nice. So it's genuine. I'm not being fake
I,
about it.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and you, it's not only that. Here's the important part: is that you actually care about other people.
Yeah.
You don't like when people are in conflicts or uh, you feel like when they're misunderstood and that their opinion on it isn't being taken into consideration properly, or they're being in some way slandered, or um, I mean, you're. Here's what I assume. I assume that people have judged you wrongly enough times that you are pretty careful not to do it yourself. And I think you're really good at seeing both sides because of that. And I also think that I could be totally wrong on that, but that's just what makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I think that's
I think, yeah. I was thinking about it. I was actually thinking about it earlier today. I don't know even what like brought it up, but when I was younger, I've always been I was much more shy actually when I was younger than I am now. And I had a lot of people think I was stuck up, or like snobby and it wasn't that at all. I was so shy, like so nervous to talk to people. And so I think now that I am a little more outgoing, like I want people to know like I'm a nice person. Like I don't think I'm better than you. Like, I don't know.
well, again, a lot of people think that you think that you're better than them because they think that you're better than them. And that is
I don't know.
that is not the publicly okay thing to say. But haters are real, Jewel. I've had a lot of experience with them, and there is a lot of um, it helps to acknowledge that for sure.
Yeah. I feel like in my personal life, I really distance myself from negative people, like on just a day-to-day basis. Like I never understand, it always confuses
That's
me. I
good.
know, well, I know, but I'm saying like I know so many people who keep up like toxic friendships. I know people that like fight with their friends and they hear that their friends are like talking about them behind their back and then they're like hanging out the very next weekend, like they're best buddies again. And I don't have any of those relationships in my life. Like my friends, like I know have my back. I have their back. They're genuine. Like I don't understand the draw toward like allowing that to stay like in your circle of influence. But I know people do it.
I don't. I don't know. I don't understand that either. I guess I would assume that they're the same way. They do the
Yeah,
same thing. They do
maybe.
the same thing that they're negative too, probably.
Yeah. I don't know.
Are they?
Mm. Maybe I guess maybe they can be, but not.
Well,
Not bad people, just
and and you're going to be the person they're least likely to be negative around, since you're not that.
yeah.
And they're not going to, if you're not about that shit, they're not going to be like whipping out that side of them.
Yeah. And I have my moments too. I'm not obviously not perfect, but yeah, I don't know.
I agree with you though.
I feel kind of bad because like we started talking and then everyone left. I'm like, it's so quiet now. Where'd everybody go?
I would feel bad, except anytime I'm in here and I don't talk very much, like
Mm-hmm.
when I don't hear a lot happening.
Mm. Yeah, I
And
understand.
there's two rooms.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah. Good point.
I mean, everybody's muted.
Yeah.
I guess it's Zach attacks in here. What up, Holly? Where's your game at? Old Zachary.
He'll take you. Oh, hiking. I can read hiking and buy you.
Zach figured out that you can put like an enormously long name in the name. So basically, I was being ridiculous earlier.
Just.
That's fair to say. It's good to know.
I mean, and not everything you were saying, just some things you were saying.
It typically happens when I'm in like one of those little, like I'm talking like I have something important to say when I probably don't. And it's about myself. I can almost expect that to be,
Yeah.
an understandable response.
Well, I can appreciate it now, and now it's funny and entertaining. And like I said, like in the moment, I was just in a bad mood, so it wasn't even that bad.
What got you in a bad mood? I don't see you in a bad mood very often.
Oh, I already told you. I think it hurt my feelings a little bit, like
Oh,
when
that.
yeah. But but it was fine. I'm like a sensitive. I don't. One of the things I've read about ISFJs, and it's true, is like we take things too personally. If things that aren't personal, we take too personally, and like which is why, like I've said in here before too, like even when people like fight in here and there's like stuff going on, I get emotionally like I invest my own emotions into it, and it's like I have to like step back and be like chill out. I'm more like
Yeah, you
I'm
don't
actually a
receive.
sensitive person.
Yes, but you ignore anything good anybody says. It outweighs something like that. I mean, it something that you'll misconstrue outweighs something explicitly and consistently said.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. I'll work on that.
I mean, don't.
No, it's true. It's true. It is
This
a
is
good point.
frustrating. It's frustrating to me because you shouldn't have got upset, but I don't want you to work on it or something because it's just how you are. That's perfect. That's fine.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that, like, Next time, I guess I'm asking, pay attention to all like. I told you I wanted to clone you, and that's enough said.
Yeah, I know. I after the fact, I felt like okay, like I knew I was letting my feels get
I'm
too
sorry.
messy. Yeah.
What's your Enneagram?
I think okay, so
Let me guess.
oh
Or
okay. Okay.
923 239. Is that a thing? Is that a combination that works?
Nope. Do you want
What?
one more shot or you want me just to tell you? You want me just to tell you?
A 6? Oh,
Yeah. Six. Okay, so at first I thought it was 614, but the one wasn't really like resonating. So I took like a more comprehensive like test and I got 649. And then Ken like sent me a link on it. I'm like, oh yeah, that seems really kind of nailed it. So 649.
can you be a 639?
A 639?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why do you see three? Do I seem three-ish?
I get, yeah, but the reason I was saying that is stupid.
Well, okay, so the interesting thing though, because it is interesting you bring it up only because so I've always been torn about my like instinctual variant or whatever. And so I always thought it was like a sexual six, but I don't know. It could also be a self-preservation six. But I was reading up on the sexual sixes and it said they can present three-ish in the sense that like they have more vanity than I guess like a typical six. Like they're more kind of like tied to that. So they have kind of a three.
To be clear, I don't. I to you. You value people. You value good presentation,
Yes. Hmm.
and that's that's what I'm going off of.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you're vain or anything, but you pay attention to how people present themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
like when it says like the vanity or whatever, to be honest, I enjoy that aspect of things. And so I don't really feel bad. Like like
yeah, don't
I don't feel bad about it because yeah, I just don't.
own that shit.
Yeah. So, but no, I think 649.
What is this? Do you have the description of that thing you read?
Yeah, I bookmarked it actually, so I can put like a
I want
link
to hear it.
of just the description of the 649.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, let me get the bookmark.
In the difference between a
Oh, the sexual six thing?
yeah, because
All right,
I'm that stuff's still a little bit more new to me. I never paid attention to it.
I don't know why I'm like so bad with technology. I didn't open up a new window, so like it just loaded it on this one. I've got problems. Okay, let's see. You would swear I was like 85 or something, like the way. I have no clue about this. Okay, let's see. I'm doing good so far.
Look at INFJ switching it up. New picture.
Okay, so that's the tri-type one.
Oh, I was gonna have you read it to me.
Oh, you want me to read it to you?
I don't have to.
Yeah, no, well, let's see. All right, so the seeker archetype. If you are a 469, you are intuitive, inquisitive, and accepting. You want to be original. What?
You're intuitive.
Inquisitive and accepting.
You're the most intuitive sensor I've.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty. I would agree with that. Eric has mentioned that before too, and so I think it's true.
Yeah, you're like a hybrid.
Yeah. You want to be original, certain, and peaceful. You are very sensitive and can experience intense feelings of self-doubt and uncertainty. As a result, you need multiple sources of confirmation. You want to be individualistic but can fear being separate from others. Your life mission is to raise the questions pertaining to the mysteries of life and share your findings with others. That one's that's not so true, but then it explains it later because my 6 is like dominant there. A true seeker, you are happiest when you feel you can answer the question of who you are. This is true. You can be so focused on your feelings, insecurities, and doubts that you can feel paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong decision and of being misled or duped. It says the 6 and 4 have the most self-doubt along with the 9. The 4 doubts their feelings, the 6 their thoughts. 6s want reassurance. Let's see. It says the 6 will stereotypically give 469 some sort of orientation around associations to ease anxiety. Let's see. It's kind of hard because I'm trying to find the parts that just talk about like with the 6 leading it because it kind of changes.
What about what's different between
Oh, here's a part about this 649. Okay, so the 649 want peace, harmony, and gentleness. They are sensitive. They don't know what to trust, and in particular, doesn't know what to trust in themselves. This, I guess, someone who was once stated that the 6 is more often than not phobic and needs multiple sources of confirmation and information. They don't feel they can rebound from emotional pain, so they tend to avoid it through the questioning process and end up finding more questions. I don't know. Does that seem like me? We're good.
Well, yeah.
Taylor, you said it did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Parts of.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
What don't you? You seem like you have a look like.
I'm gonna look at it.
Okay.
Is it still moist?
Not as moist. I mean, there's still a little bit because Nick and I are here, so there's always gonna be a little bit.
Is it a two-way moistness road?
You can join in on the moistness. You want to add your own moisture?
See, I guess I don't like. I guess I don't like the phrasing of it. You want to be original, certain, and peaceful. With original, I think that you have your own point of view on things, which I guess can be original, especially in conflict. But I just see that as like, I have a hard time with you want. Maybe you want it, so you are.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I do see you as wanting to be certain because you're very careful to state things.
Mm. Hmm.
And I think you just are peaceful. It's like the want.
Yeah.
Hello.
You definitely
Stu,
like
can you hear me?
confirmation.
Hello.
For being separate from others. I have a problem with this. The same problem I do with all the other ones is the wording.
Yeah.
It's not my crotch being in your face?
Taylor. He wants to rid the room of all moisture. Is that just a tactic too?
No, if I wanted to get rid of moisture, I'd hand you a towel.
Oh, okay. Oh, here, let me look up the other one I was talking about. Trying to find the other one for you, the sexual six.
Oh, I zoned out. I wasn't still just giving you the crotch. I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That one. Right. All right, here we go. All right, so I'll send you this link right here. All right, so this is if you go to like the sexual six part.
Sexual six.
But I still don't know. I still get torn between sexual six and self-preservation also.
I'm a self-preservation A. Mm-hmm.
But see, doesn't really. But see, it's hard because I only find parts of it to be true, and a lot of it I don't relate
That's
to.
why I agree. I agree.
So I don't know. Because it says both, like it talks about like, caring about appearance and caring about and trying to present a certain way and like all that. And that I can relate to. But I don't really relate to like, I'm not tomboyish, I wouldn't say, and I don't try to present as like being strong or aggressive, obviously. It's already 11 o'clock. I don't know. What do you think?
Brum, bum, bum. Ba-ba-dum, ba-dum.
What song is that, Taylor? I
To the
know it.
windows.
Okay. I was like, oh, that sounds
Just
familiar.
let down my balls. Oh, we ring my brow. Oh,
The
I
classic.
think that
What do you think?
wording is important on this.
Okay.
How important is the wording?
I'm reading the other part of it.
Oh, okay.
Thing is, I never hear you talk about your future.
Where does it mention that?
Future oriented and let's see.
For the sexual sex?
I'm gonna well any of the stuff I'm reading it talks about that. Their mind spins out of control on future possibilities. Oh. Okay, let's see.
Oh, I see where you're at. Okay. Yeah, that one doesn't. I just don't think that description's very. Although it is funny, it mentions me being out of touch with the quiet higher thinking center and their own inner guidance because Ken sent me a link to this test that like measured your uh, cognitive functions, and NI was not used. And I was like my lowest. Everything else, I was like, I was either excellent or good or average, and NI was the only one that was like not used. And I'm like, I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
My SI was negative.
Was there really? It's hilarious. But yeah, I don't have, when I think of the future, I don't have any like internal, I don't know what to think of it. Like it's just like this weird, ambiguous blob of something. Like, I mean, I have this like basic trajectory, like I know I'm on, like, okay, I'm wife and I have my kids and next year will be Christmas and then they'll go to school and they'll graduate. And it's like I could see this like linear thing, but in terms of like a detailed like pick, like I don't know, like or like making very like future oriented decisions, like I'm not great at that either.
I actually don't like it either.
Yeah.
But and what I do know about or want whatever, I certainly don't ever say to people because then you just have yourself on the hook to other people.
Right. Yeah. I don't share like, oh, these are my plans. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do like no, you won't hear me say that. If anything, I'm like, well, maybe I might like that'll be what I might say. Or I've been thinking about this thing in the future for the future, but I remember one time I saw a video where Eric was talking about ISFJs, and one way to tell they're an ISFJ is ask them what they see for themselves in the future. They'll probably they'll stop and pause and be like, and then just kind of laugh, like I haven't even thought about it. It's like it's true. I don't even think about it.
That
You're like, that sounds scary. Why would you do that?
I mean, it's kind of the opposite.
That's terrible, Joel.
that freaks me out.
I'm kind of the opposite, but I don't ever want to lock myself into something.
Oh.
Even verbally to someone or to myself. I don't like. So to ask, what are you going to be doing a year from now? Where do you see yourself a year from now? Fuck, dude, I've changed my mind 365 times by then.
Yeah.
I'm not going to comment on that one. I'd talk too much about it. It wouldn't be a comment. It'd be a...
Like telling me about how I need to think about my future?
No.
Oh.
I mean... this is really interesting.
What part?
I'm still reading this.
Can't see it.
So,
I have a strong feeling that Taylor borrowed that dolly from somewhere and just hasn't gotten around to giving it back.
This is not a dolly. It's a display shelf.
Oh. Huh.
And no, Rockstar sent it to me because I'm a promoter.
Okay, I was wondering if you were promoting they were getting paid for that.
Yep.
Hey, Tay.
Hey, Ken.
I was actually talking to the other Tay, but I'm doing good. Thanks.
Okay.
Are we getting the crotch shot again? Taylor, thank you.
Yes, you are.
It's unconscious. He just can't help himself.
I mean, Ken hadn't seen it yet.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for including me.
I mean, I've been included in your crotch.
Yep.
Mine doesn't come with a musical instrument.
I think you're for sure a sexual type.
You think so?
I think sexual 9 and sexual 6 both.
I haven't read the sexual 9 one. I have to read that.
Give me uno momento.
Yeah, sexual 16. Good one.
Zach, I like your name. It just says everything that needs to be said.
I mean, That burrito part is really. It would get me.
What if you just want the burrito part, but you don't have to like go on a hike to earn it?
Well, then you're not SE enough.
Yeah, I guess. So. Gold digger.
Gold digger. You probably order steak burritos too.
He's just like, you didn't go hiking and you fucking got the extra side guacamole for $1? Fuck you, woman.
Hiking and
And
we used to eat it all the time back in the day. Called pussy.
So what made you think it was that fits, Nick? Are you saying you think I'm a 9 though, possibly, and not a 6?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm saying she's a gold digger. Who's the Blanky? Blanky. Yeah, we got a smart ass, huh?
I got a few of those.
This Blanky thinks it's fucking clever.
I'm still thinking about how to answer.
Do you think she's a core sexual type?
Read the description and then look at how I prance.
Look at how I prance.
Are you saying you think she's a core sexual type?
Yeah.
And you think she's a sexual 6?
Well, I had
You think she
thought
is?
that. Yeah, so I sent him the link to read it. And see if
What do you know about being a sexual 6?
Nick probably knows a thing or two about being a sexual 3, maybe. But.
Sexual 3. P and G.
Mm-hmm. Sexual 3 man, the Paragona, Two in the Pink, One in the Stink.
Paragona.
Paragon of, sorry. I didn't see the F enough. But sexual 6s, I guess, oftentimes are counterphobic.
They give 8s a bad name by doing their dumb dick shit.
Yeah, I don't think I'm counterphobic.
The counterphobic 6s are like puffer fish. Like, the more afraid they get, the more.
The only time my counterphobic side comes out, I think, is if I'm like surprised. I just start swinging. Like I'll people like play like surprise you, come around a corner, do that. Yeah. I don't run. I am like, I go at him. Yeah. That's the only time it comes out.
That might be more of a self-preservation thing.
Oh, really?
I mean,
like, I don't
as far as self-preservation goes, if somebody seems like a threat, then you might want to physically defend yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tay.
Remember when we used to be 6s together, Ken, before you abandoned me?
Ken, where you go?
Where did I go?
Ken, are you not a self-pres 6 anymore, or a sexual 6?
No, he left me to be a 9.
Well,
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He didn't even give me any warning. He just did it one day.
From being a sexual 6, you better learn to be something that's self-preserving really fucking quick. Just kidding, Ken.
Sorry, I'm probably self-preservation 9, so.
That's the most 9 answer ever.
It's like one of those Pokemon evolutions that if they can just survive long enough to get to like the final stage, they'll be cool. But like the first two are kind of shit.
Are you a Magikarp?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Fucking self-preservation 9s are fucking as Magikarp as it gets. If I can just survive long enough, I'll turn into a Gyarados. But
I will survive.
hey,
As long as I know how to love, I know I'll be alive.
there you go.
Unfortunately, I relate the most to a sexual 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think my 3 and 8
Get
are.
over here.
I think my 3 and 8 are nearly equal,
Mm.
and so says the test. Also, my brother was, like I said, I don't know if I said this earlier. I said it to somebody, but my brother was listening to a podcast about Enneagram, and he previously had dismissed it, but it was their description. Which, by the way, they spent more time on 8 than anything, but their description of an 8. He was like, "That's you."
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah.
What podcast? I want to hear the podcast about me.
I think you probably do. I thought of you.
I did not ask.
I mean, I might even be an 835 or 837.
I'm an 837.
I think
I found an instrument from the crotch. Spoon man.
nice spins. Yeah, I think Eric and Taylor arguing about relationships was a pretty clear indication of sexual blind spot versus social blind spot.
Wait, who's blind where?
You're social blind, he's sexual blind.
When were they arguing about relationships? I didn't hear that one.
It was Eric arguing why he wanted to sort of lock things down role-wise with Kimberly, and Taylor. It seems like social last types or social blind types. Like when people start talking about like certain like role aspects
Mm-hmm.
that people might play, they get. I don't know if they're necessarily confused, but they're just not having that shit necessarily.
Hmm.
I was not paying attention, even though I know it was about me. Said stuff about me again. I don't remember what my second type was. I think it might have been sexual.
I think you're self-preservation sexual. I think you're primarily concerned with questions of self-preservation, and then sort of the sexual aspects are just sort of around and about you.
Right.
Spousal abuse scenarios are possible. That's not me.
What?
Yeah, descriptions can be sort of difficult because in a lot of ways I relate to the social last description, but I don't think makes too much sense that I would be social last.
Maybe you're social. Psychosocial would be me, wouldn't it?
If you like take sexual 3 and sexual 8 and combine them, there you go. That's me.
Well, you can't have both.
Listen,
one is first. You can certainly feel like both. That is possible.
well, the test told me I was equal. I feel equal, and guess what? I could be wrong, but then I have a question for you all. Do you believe in 100%? Do you believe that this model is 100% perfect?
I believed in.
I don't believe that the flaw in the model is that Nick can't have both.
Well, that's not what I'm asking.
I know, but that's the answer because it hits.
No.
It's 100%. I'm saying I believe in formal logic more so than the quite frankly, sort of moisture aspect of tests.
So, but all I'm hearing is it is impossible for you to be equal 8 and 3, which tells me
Right. So
that
I
this
think
is
that
a
the flaw
really,
is not
really,
where
really.
Nick wants it to be. The flaws
Hold
in
on.
Nick are almost never exactly where you want them
I'm not saying what I think.
This description right here, did you read this description for the sexual 3? Because it's kind of funny. The first one I clicked on says another reason the narcissism is hard to discern is that the influence of Hollywood's movies on our emotional relationships is significant. And were you just talking earlier about like it should be like in the movies?
But look at the sexual 8. I was about to mention all the things that we were talking about that describes.
Oh, okay. That one.
That one's interesting. And Taylor, why'd you run off? I was super right on that one.
I'm just off screen.
Rightness is it's not situational.
I wasn't. Oh, the only point I was trying to prove is that if you don't believe it's 1,000% perfect, then don't say something can't be the case within the model. If you say the model is not, in fact, if the model
But
is
that's
not
just
Nick, punch, because you're going to say it is possible because you don't think it's 1,000% perfect. I'm going to say right, but I think that you 1,000% have this one thing that you want to change right now, and 1,000% that's not the thing that's wrong with it.
No, I think consistently that I've said this, and that just like you don't want me to change the model,
but you're just a model
like
hater, man.
just like you don't want me to make any wiggle room is just as equal as me wanting to make wiggle room.
No, it's not.
How
Everybody
isn't it?
wants to make,
Listen,
because the human nature dictates that everybody wants to have their cake and eat it too. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too, and so I'm wrong.
You're super wrong.
I see what you're saying because I'm just reading this now. Sorry, because I wasn't paying attention to what's going on. I see what you're saying now about the 8 because it is what we were talking about earlier too.
And then, so we have an example of Jewel here saying, "Wow, this relates really what we were talking about earlier." And then she read of the 3, the sexual 3, and then she read the sexual 8, and she was like, "Wow, this is the same thing." It's both, Taylor, and you're doing the same thing that you've criticized me enough times about to where it's a pretty prominent thing of trying to tell somebody what they think. So not only are you wrong, but you're also a hypocrite.
Okay, well, that's a pretty fucking bold statement. How many people have you heard say, "I think I'm"?
Hold on. Let me.
No. I'm asking you a question now, motherfucker. How many people have you heard say, "I think I'm an introvert, extrovert, center field"?
Hold on.
Like every fucking person who reads the test. How does astrology work? Oh, you're right. That does sound like me. There's whole fucking industry of people selling bullshit to people like you who want to believe both and eat their cake too.
We can you're right, but that's called intellectual laziness. Is stopping there because you can only be one or the other. You can only be an extrovert or an introvert. You can't only be.
Well, not perfect. Maybe everybody who wants to be both is right. Hypocrite.
Hold on, and that's what I was trying to tell you to hold on about. I don't think you're a hypocrite in general. I think you're one of the farthest things from it. Just in this particular situation, fuck yeah. And no, well, maybe you're right, but I've also related to 3 for a long time, and then have had tons of. I'm super strong 8 as well. My brother. In the test said so. Multiple tests said so. One I'll get a 3 dominant. Other I'll get an 8 dominant. Two I got were nearly equal. One was really equal. There's the test. There's people, you all relate to me as a 3. My brother relates to me as an 8.
I do not think you're an 8 at all. I'm an 8. I can smell 8. You're not a fucking 8. You're suggestible is what you are.
I think if I have emotional attachment to this, it's at the very least as much as yours.
No. My emotional attachment is you getting all bold and saying that I'm a hypocrite when really what I'm doing is trying to pad the truth that I see. Which is you are suggestible and you're not a fucking 8.
Because you're going to be 8.
No, there's plenty of other 8s. Audra's an 8. Ace is an 8. Ash is an 8. You're not an 8.
I'm in agreement with Taylor on this.
So don't start talking shit when I'm just padding the truth to be nice, motherfucker. You're 3. You're not. And no, the flaw in a system isn't where you want it to be.
It's not about want. I'm very honest when I say I don't give a fuck either way. It isn't.
Then why are we still talking about it?
It's not because your reaction is interesting to me, and it also coincides with what I was.
We're talking about it because it's interesting
And
to
it
you.
also coincides with what I was. And it also coincides with what I was talking about earlier when I first came in here. Is that I kind of assumed a role or identity when I first came in here,
But that's not an 8 thing.
that's
Like,
what I have. a problem with.
coming in and assuming the role or identity, that's more indicative of 3.
It could be a thing if we just undo the model and re-fuck everything into how Nick wants it to be. Let's make the model of Nick's bullshit.
So explain to me how it's not possible. Explain to me how. I mean, first of all, are you always an 8 first, for example? Is it just more what you are like? Are you more an 8? Are you more like an 8 in these situations, then more like a 3 in these situations, and then more like a 7 in these situations? Is it, or is it always all 3 at once?
Wait, well, can it be wrong or not? Because if it can be wrong, we might as well throw the whole fucking thing out so that we can reconstruct something that's more
You're
ideal.
trying to be educated, Taylor. If you won't answer the questions, then who's trying to make them?
I'm not your fucking educator.
Well, I'm more interested in being wrong about this than you. If anybody seems to be expressing a personal,
Because it's not the system that's wrong. It's math. It's odds. The odds are everybody wants to have their cake and eat it too, and everybody wants to break a conceptual model to get their cake while they eat it. And the odds of that ever fucking happening on any topic in real life are like none. Nobody's ever so fucking lucky. You didn't just hit the jackpot. You're not a fucking four-leaf clover.
it's not a. First of all, I don't think I'm the only case of this. Second of all, I don't think it makes. It's not a extreme benefit. It's not like a superpower. And third of all, if I'm trying to position myself in a way that I look like a four-leaf clover or special, I'm going to be much more creative than this.
You're trying to position yourself as reasonable because you were trying to do some dumb dick shit. You called me a hypocrite for pointing out that your shit is mathematically dumb.
Why did I call you a hypocrite?
Because I was telling you what you're thinking.
Right. And you have a problem with that.
So
And,
let
and
me.
also,
No, I
and also,
have a problem with you calling me a hypocrite. Let me reposition my statement. Everybody tends to want the thing that you're wanting. You may or may not want it. For the same
therefore,
reason.
we can assume with this much certainty that this is the case, and we should not try and investigate.
I'm saying that everybody barks up the same fucking tree
Well,
that you're barking up now. I don't know what your reasons are. I don't care.
can
I'm talking about the math of people getting lucky and going, holy shit, this is exactly what I wanted. It was wrong just in the place that I wanted. Nobody's ever looked in this place for this thing because nobody thinks to look at the end of a rainbow for
let's
pop.
go.
Huh.
Thanks, Jewel.
Nick looks sleepy.
He looks frozen.
Oh.
Nick, let it go. Let it go. Yeah. I can't quite keep up with the, with the 8 fixers in an argument. But, I'd say I probably think that he's 3-8 something.